my favorite player in the draft, Jihaad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. Jihaad is linebacker 1. I think he is going to be the steal of this draft because I don't know where he's going to go. We can talk about that. And he also has he had a labrum surgery, which is going to probably push his start time to. He might not be ready at the beginning of the season, I believe. We'll see. That could also cause him to drop, obviously.
Yeah, the Eagles general manager, Howie Roseman, he's already stated that Campbell was a top 10 player on the draft board. So you knew the Eagles was interested. Very similar to what happened to Nolan Smith a couple years ago. He had an injury, raised some concerns, and he ended up dropping all the way down to the end of that first round. So we ended up getting Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, and a lot of people weren't very happy with it. Same situation with Jihaad Campbell. I guess everybody was worried about the labrum, but watch the tape, look at the production on the field when he was at Bama, and you already know.
I think he might be my favorite off-ball linebacker I've watched since Roquan Smith as a prospect.
So you got to be careful with the comps, but that is a good comp with Roquan Smith. But I always have like cautious enthusiasm when it comes to that, especially when you're talking about rooks coming in the league. You got to let them step on the field to see what's what. Give them time to get acclimated before. And I know everybody does that. You know, that's the thing to do on ESPN, on Fox, on everything, NFL Network. They got to compare them with somebody. But when you comparing them to an all-pro, let them get their feet wet first because you never know what's going to happen when they get on the field. However, Campbell is a highly skilled, versatile linebacker. He can play the edge. He's got experience and the ability to play both. Inside linebacker and the edge rusher, like I mentioned. The Eagles believe with his explosiveness, speed, and his power, he can affect the quarterback, play in space, got the flexibility. He's got the flexibility to play in the Eagles defense, and Vic Fangio can move him around a little bit.
He has every tool you need to be an elite modern linebacker in today's NFL. He still has to develop some of those tools. You hit on all of the traits. His length, I think, is so that's what really jumped out to me first. And but I do think like you see the length shows up all over his tape, whether it's tackling or getting those arms in there in coverage, putting his arms.
Campbell is fast. All right, very fast. 4.52 in the 40-yard dash at the combine. Impressive speed for his size, 6'3", 235. Maybe he can bulk up to 240. But speed kills, man. The athleticism combined with his reported sideline to sideline range, he is a valuable asset in coverage because he is quickness. He has the quickness, can open his hips, and possibly can cover a tight end or a running back out the flats. Any type of situation like that, possibly somebody in the slots. He's got experience doing that in the SEC. So he can get backwards, he can move, he can stop, change directions. Because remember, a lot of linebackers can run. Most linebackers can't cover. That's a whole different skill set. But I believe Jihaad Campbell has that skill set. Howie Roseman just had to be patient. He waited for the fall. Didn't have to do anything early in that first round. The first half of that first round, it was like a lot of offensive players going, which was surprising, seeing how many defensive players were available. And the defensive players that were going, it was you had a lot of you had cornerbacks going and some other positions, but I guess the players that the Eagles were looking for were still on the board. I think the first player, which came up in all the mocks when Walter Nolan got picked up, then you started thinking like, okay, maybe we're not going to get the guy we wanted. But you look at all the other players that were in the draft and were still available, we were in good shape.
He has every tool you need to be an elite modern linebacker in today's NFL. He still has to develop some of those tools. You hit on all of the traits. His length, I think, is so that's what really jumped out to me first. You see the length shows up all over his tape, whether it's tackling or getting those arms in there in coverage, putting his arms up, as well as the sideline to sideline athleticism. win his game, and it won't take that long. I really believe that, because he is new to the position and already so good. When it speeds up like 1/2 of a second is when it's gonna like just go nuclear, right? Because you see it sometimes, the diagnosis, he's still kind of figuring it out in terms of his like route recognition and the coverage, in terms of like reading the run and sorting through the mess. He can be like just a tick late, and I think just once you turn that knob a little bit more, I just think
Really nice.
the sky is the limit.
Listen, once he knows, he knows. Once he gets comfortable, he'll be a force. That's the one thing for rookies. That's the biggest hurdle for rookies when they get into camp. They got to learn the playbook, because when you out there, you thinking. You don't want to think when you on the field like that. The guys that usually make it or acclimate themselves quickest in camp are the guys that learn the playbook first. So when you get out there, you're not thinking, because if you're on the field and you got to think about what you have to do, you're already a step behind. So as soon as he gets comfortable and understands that playbook, and also this is a situation where having guys from your alma mater, having guys from your school, you have some familiarity, and you got other guys from Alabama, Devontae Smith. I mean, even Jalen Hurts can come down, coach him up a little bit, slow him down, talk to him, and get him comfortable with what he's supposed to do. And not for nothing, one of the things he doesn't have to worry about, he's from South Jersey. He's from this area. So some of the headaches that other people, other rookies have to deal with, he doesn't have to deal with. He's comfortable with the situation. He knows where he is. He knows this environment. So that's something that's off his plate, which he can concentrate more on the playbook. So I'm expecting some good play out of him if he's healthy in camp.